Okay. Okay, so let's start it. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the educational session, the Zoom meeting for introducing Access-VR services in New York State. Today, we are we have invited Nobuku, the senior senior Access-VR counselor from Bronx office, to give us a presentation of the overall Access-VR service provided by at the New York State, and as well as the pre-ETS services that's targeting the children, the young adults and the teenagers between 14 and 21. And then so first of all, this is hosted by Project Ready. We're a non-for-profit organization focused on helping population of the Asian families with the children with the developmental disabilities, providing service and the parent support, mainly in the New York metro area. So this talk is one of the talk series or targeting many of the transition topics. All the transition topics that the families and individuals will encounter when transitioning from the adolescence to adulthood. So apparently, vocational training and the employment opportunity is a big part in this process. So it's our pleasure to have the opportunity to hear from Nobuku today about Access-VR. Thank you so much for coming, Nobuku.
You're welcome. So, Adela, maybe I should introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Hi everyone. My name is Nobuko Mace. I am a senior vocational counselor at Access-VR Bronx office. Thank you for having me today. Thank you for your time. First of all, Adela, will you play a video? The general video I can see now.
OK，那么就是现在就是是Nobuku 讲英文，然后呢，我给大家做一下中文翻译啊。那么他第一个呢，想给大家讲的就是一个这个 Access-VR 的这个general service， 这个你可以看到在他这个网站上面，然后accessvr.nysed.gov， 然后他想让我给大家放一下这个这个录像，他在这个网页上有一个录像，我现在就放一下这个录像。
If you have a disability, having the right tools to access your potential allows the doors of opportunity to open. Access VR is here to supply those tools through career assessments, vocational training, education programs, and supported employment. Individuals with disabilities gain the skills and experience to achieve employment and independence. Access your potential with Access VR. For more information, visit acces.nysed.gov/VR.
Adela, can you go to the slide? Maybe we should move to my slide today.
OK， 那
Thank you.
么Nobuku 也准备了一个幻灯片，主要是讲他们的介绍他们的服务。Go ahead.
Okay. So Access VR stand for Adult Career and Continuing Education Services Vocational Rehabilitation. Next slide, please.
那么 Access-VR 它是一个缩写，这个缩写就是大家看到这个抬头是，就是成人职业和再教育的服务，然后它的 focus， 它的那个侧重点 就是职业培训。
So we are the New York State Education. We are the part of a New York State Education Department. We work for student as well as adult with disability to get the job. So this Access VR services is employment agency. So in order to provide employment related services, we have a hands-on vocational training, job placement, we have a college sponsorship. I can explain more in detail for the following slide.
OK，那么他讲到这个 Access-VR 是纽约州教育局下面的一个项目，那么就是归那个纽约州教育局管的。然后下面的具体的话，就是后面每一张幻灯片会讲到。
And there is 15 different district offices and 10 satellite offices throughout New York State. We will meet the participant individual in the office or maybe customers at the local school or the Department of Labor site. And we serve based on your address. So White Plains office, let's say White Plains office serve for Westchester County residents. Bronx office, we serve for Bronx residents. Garden City serve for Long Island residents.
它这个幻灯片讲的是，就总共在纽约州有15个区域性的办公室和10个卫星型的办公室，然后大致跟它这个位置呢，办公室的位置大致跟纽约州下面的每个郡就是 county 是相符合的，比如说他举了一个例子，就是说这个 White Plains Office 就白园这个办公室，就是管整个Westchester 这个微郡的。然后呢Garden City 就是花园城市那个office 在长岛的呢，就是管整个长岛的那个整个事务。
Access VR purpose and processes. As I explained before, Access the mission is to assist individuals with disability to go to work. But our services is not entitlement. This is eligibility based on the program. So at the how to apply to our services and then make a determination. How? First of all, applicants or individuals needs to fill out application form, release form, confidential health assessment form. Those forms from our Access VR website. So if you have a question how to find those documents, you can ask Adela. And also, we work for a student as well as adult with disability to get the job. So we need to have a proof of disability document such as IEP from high school or maybe psychological testing report or psychiatric medical form filled by professionals such as psychiatrist or medical doctor saying this participant has a disability, such diagnosis. That's why we are able to apply for Access VR.
Okay. Yeah, Nobuku, I'll try to cover all the information. So maybe going forward, let's pause about, five sentences. So I can, I wanted to make sure I can cover all the information. 那么这张 slide 呢，就是讲这个 Access-VR 它的使命，它的意图和它的这个一些过程。那么在这个它的使命呢，就是帮助我们能够就是找到工作，对吧？就是帮助残障人能找到工作，能有工作。那么当然了，它这个也不是说每个就是 不是说你每个人都能够就是 entitled，每个人都给你的，每个人都应该给的。他意思就是说你这个需要有一定的这个资格。那么资格呢，刚才他说就是提到就是说你在要拿到资格之前要申请，对吧？申请的这个材料包括你学校的，比如说 IEP 的材料啊，然后自己的那个或者是要填那个表，就是 release 的表，就是说你把这个 information 要给他可以用的，就是授权给他用的，还有呢就是嗯。保密的一些协议都应该给他那么这个需要申请的时候需要的哪些材料呢？他提到了一些，比如说在学校的psychiatric evaluation 的这个材料然后呢也有可能是你的 Medicaid 资格证的材料，学校的 IEP。学校的这个就是心理评估报告，还有就是或者是 OPWDD 或者是 Medicaid 资格证的这些材料，都可以作为来申请Access-VR 资格的就是辅助材料。
Okay, so this slide explained what is a student and youth with disability. Since the student can stay, I believe now is up to 22 years old. So we switch this category. Used to be 14 to 21 years old, considered as a student with disability. Nowadays it's changed. This slide is a little old, but 14 to 22 years old, we consider a student with disability.
OK，就是残障学生这个名目下面的话，就现在因为已经学生可以在学校待到22岁，所以说他这个幻灯片呢有点旧了，那么可以就是14岁到22岁都是可以。应该说是残障学生，就是现在还在学校还在高中的都可以以这个名目来申请。
Next slide, please.
Okay, you want to cover the youth with a disability?
Yeah. The youth with disabilities ages 14 to 25 years old, we consider this population as youth with disability. But for us, it doesn't change much category. They are our participants, so we are able to serve for this population when they hit 14 years old or above.
OK，他说就是意思这两个就是残障的学生和残障青年好像没有什么特别大的区别，然后这个就是残障青年他的年龄期就是可以到25岁。
Now, I'd like to explain the three different service categories here to assist the participant or applicants to reach their career goals. Number one bullet is pre-ETS for students with disabilities who are potentially eligible for access VR services. Usually this population is between 14 years old to 16, 17 years old, not quite to know their career goals. And the second bullet is pre-ETS for students with disabilities who are determined eligible, meaning usually close to the graduation, 17 years old, 18 years old, or above. And the third category is VR services needed for individual/adult, obtain, maintain, or advance in a job for who are determined eligible. So my caseload, 14 years old up to 64 years old.
OK，他说就是能够接受就是转型服务的转型过渡服务的这个 残障人的话，就分成大致根据年龄可以分成几个有几个范畴。然后上面这个 pre-EST 就是就业前转型过渡服务的。这个呢，他说是大概14岁到16岁。然后他说就是说呃呃。有潜在可能成为那个 Access-VR 服务的对象，对，但是他就是说不一定能够马上就决定，或者是不一定马上就拿到服务。那么第二个范畴呢是16岁以上，大概17岁、18岁以上的。然后这个范畴呢，就是说已经是有 XSVR 资格的。那么第三个呢，就是说在年纪再大一点，18岁以上，然后他这些个人的话，他需要能够就是说能够找到这个工作，能够维持工作，或者是能够就是提升自己的能力，能够以找到工作为目的，这么就是一个以这么一个为目标，也是这些人也是能够也是已经拿到XSVR 资格证的。那么他也Nobuku 也讲到，就是说他平时的工作的这个案例当中，他接受的人是从14岁到64岁，所以说任何年龄的都是可以，就是最低是从14岁学生开始，但是你在任何时候就是想以就业为目的的话，XSVR 都是就是有义务帮你的。
Okay, this pre-ETS stand for pre-employment transitional services. We recently developed for these services to improve especially young adult student vocational readiness and then achieve an early solid foundation that will lead them to successful competitive integrated employment and independence.
它这个 pre-ETS 就是它也是个缩写，就是说E 是employment，T 是 transition，然后 S 是 service，就是说就业前的转型服务，专门是针对那个残障学生的，也就是说这个学生还是在学校里面的，在高中的没有毕业的。然后呢，他们把它归类成一个呃就是职场准备的一些训练，在这个年龄段的话，他们的这个侧重点就是职场的准备。Go ahead, no problem.
Next slide, please. So here we developed the 5 pre-ETS, job exploration counseling, work-based learning. This is the paid internship by us. Counseling on opportunities for employment in post-secondary education, workplace readiness, and instruction in self-advocacy. This post-secondary education, meaning student in the high school or like BOCES or vocational training and certificate programs, educational institution.
OK，那么这个就业前转型服务呢，包括这么5大块。第一个呢，就是 job exploration，就是工作探索性质的咨询。然后第二个呢，就是工作环境下的一个学习体验。然后第三个呢，就是说在就是工作机会在一些那个职业培训机构里面给他们的一些 一些咨询。一些关于工作机会的咨询，那这个主要就是说，像在纽约市可能就是75学区他们就是一些职业性的那个规划和咨询，然后像在纽约市以外的话，长岛和威郡的话，都是BOSIS program，它这个 BOSIS program 也是像一个。就是说，专门职业性学校的那种培训性质的咨询活动。然后第4个呢是，就是职场准备方面的一些训练。然后最后的话就是自我倡导，就这么5大块。
Okay, let me explain each of them. Yep, next slide. Yes. So how do we receive this job exploration counseling activities? First of all, Access VR counselor needs to make a referral to contracted vendor close to your residence. So what I want to do during a job exploration counseling, let's say assigned employment specialist with individual, he or she do vocational interest inventories, research the labor market in the local area, and also research in demand industries. What's kind of job in demand in your county? And also identify career pathway or interest to the student or individual, meaning I set my career goal. I like to be a cook. I like to know, is it in demand in my county or how to get to such a specific career goals?
这个工作探索性咨询的方面呢，就是它包括这么几大块。他刚才说了，就是说如果要是Access-VR 接了你的这个案子这个 case，他们就叫 case 案例，然后呢，他可以给你指定一个专门的机构，专门就是具体的服务机构。这个具体服务机构呢。有这个诊疗室有这个专门的工作人员，这个工作人员让你可以跟你探讨一下你的职业兴趣哪方面的职业兴趣，然后现在的就是职场上有一些可以找到的工作，然后呢现在的这个就业市场怎么样？然后现在有哪一些大致的方向的话，哪一些工作就是说比较需要的人比较多，就接下来比较热门的行业，然后呢，除了典型的这个就业方式以外，然后像我们还有一些其他的可以考虑的就业方式，还有你自己想以哪种形式就业，比如说part time、full time，然后离家多远啊，像这些具体的东西，可能都是有一个咨询师会在这个工作探索的这个阶段跟你定一下，跟你可能就是写一个报告，然后就是把你这些基本的要求都已经都搞清楚。
So next slide, I explain the internship. This is the paid internship. Access VR pay for student, usually minimum wage. And when we make a referral to the vendor, we try to find something relates to their career goals. Let's say one student says, oh, I like to be a hairstylist. We try to find the internship site, maybe a hair salon, doing something, maybe shadowing hairstylist, or doing even cashier in hair salon, or maybe just cleaning. So this purpose is to develop work experiences, explore career opportunities, learn time management, because job meaning we have to wake up on time, put the deodorant on the body, and using a train and go to work on time, right? And when we get paid, we have to put the money aside for transportation. So student or individual will learn money management. This internship we can provide during a summer for a student, college student, during a summer or semester, fall and spring, or for the adult, anytime we are able to provide this internship.
OK，对这个 slide 好像内容比较多，他讲的就是说这个一个就是工作环境下的一个学习体验。他说这个是虽然名字叫这个，他说大部分的话是有偿的一个实习，这个是有偿的，一般的话是最低时薪，有偿的实习，然后呢，主要就是说，当你 XSVR，它把你跟一个具体的具体的那个机构牵线了以后，在这个机构就会给你找一些这种实习的机会，然后呢，你也学会在这个过程当中就是面试，然后做一些service learning，就是说具体的工作，学习一些工作技巧，然后呢，还有呢，就是主要就是在成长，他的工作技能有一个成长的过程，然后呢，也是有一个探索的过程，还有学习的过程，还有呢，他说到就是说在工作。那么工作的话，当然有一个计划了，比如说你早上能起来，能按时起来，闹钟，然后能够自己乘公交车或者是某种交通的方式到达到达工作地点，那么都是一个训练的过程。那么这个因为我们现在还是在讲到就是说就业前的过度转型服务，那么。可能很多就是这个是指有障碍的学生，所以说他们还没有达到22岁，所以说他这个只能是在就是暑假或者是那个学期当中。那么学期当中的话，学生大部分都要上学，可能就是说暑假期间，然后学期当中的这个放学以后的时间，或者是以其他的某种形式。刚才我也可能漏讲一点，就是说，如果大家有什么问题的话，就是可以把自己的问题记下来，或者是你放在那个对话框里面。然后对话框里面的话，然后等一下我们等 Nobuko 讲完了以后，然后我们就是让他一个一个的来回答你的问题。OK。
Okay, so this counseling on post-secondary options usually provided by Access VR counselor. So Access VR counselor provides information and guidance on a variety of post-secondary education and training opportunities that will assist a student or individual with a disability to achieve their career goals. Let's say plan A, we try to find plan A, let's say cook. Plan B, let's say going to hairstylist. So we will explore, Access VR counselor will explore with the student career options together.
OK，那么这个咨询就是说，这个是在就职业选择方面的这个咨询呢，就是我们他讲到的这个例子，就是说比如说你这个前面的，如果根据前面的谈话，你的就业的 兴趣和方向，第一是做一个厨师，那么然后他可能就是找一些厨师方面的这个机会练习和这个进修的机会。然后呢，第二个呢是做理发师。那么理发师的话，可能就是先尝试第一个做厨师的机会，然后再在理发师的机会这样。就允许你有一个探索和实践，的过程。
The workplace work readiness programs are set of skills and behaviors that are necessary for any job. Work readiness skills are sometimes called soft skills, employability skills, and job readiness skills. Participant or student will learn how to interact and communicate with supervisors and coworkers. And also they will learn how to appropriately wearing a business clothes for work, using appropriate email address, not using lovebird stuff. We don't use that. So in this work readiness program, student or individuals will learn how to interact with supervisors, co-workers in professional setting.
这个职场技能呢，就是说，就是就是职场，应该说是职场准备技能。那么，职场准备技能也是一般的我们讲的软实力和你是不是准备好了，就是可以进入职场的实力。它这些软实力呢，包括就是说，怎么样和上司相处，和你的同事相处，然后用一些比较适合职场的一些语言，然后穿衣服也比较适合，就是在职场环境下的那个衣服，然后用那些工作的这个技巧呢，比如说用 email 啊，就是用你工作的 email，然后用你那个一些工作性的语言和环境，就这些软实力的话，也都是就业前准备和转型服务的里面的一个内容。
This self-advocacy refers to an individual's ability to effectively communicate, negotiate, or assert their own interest and or desired. Participant or student will learn taking the responsibility for communicating their own need and desires in a straightforward manner to the others. Let's say they are in high school. Academic accommodations are given by teacher. But when they go to the school or work, we have to request supervisors or professors to get accommodations such as extended time for assignment, or maybe individual may need specialized mouse or keyboard. Those things we have to request for supervisors or professors. So in this section, instruction in self-advocacy, student or individual will learn how to request accommodations to their supervisors.
这个自我倡导，也是这个转型，就是就业前转型服务的一部分。然后这个呢，它是强调了就是在不同的环境下，它自我倡导的这个内容是不一样的。然后 当然这个而且跟这个自我倡导的这个内容也跟就是个人能力和这个和目标也都是不一样的。打个比方说，你在高中的时候，那么如果是残障的学生，他高中需要给你就是教育环境下需要给你教育或者是训练环境下，他都需要给你很多就是accommodation，这个 accommodation 应该是翻译成就是提供适当的变化吧，就是适当的这个就是适当给你就是要通融，要给你提供一些变化的就是变化的条件。然后呢，这些 accommodation 呢都需要自己可能去交流去沟通。然后呢你也要知道自己的这个作为残障人，然后也知道自己的权利和这个责任然后也要建立一些这个有一些目标，它这个上面列出的所有的东西都是，就是在 Access-VR 职场进修这个环境当中就是那个所焦聚的吧，就是说所焦聚的这个自我倡导的内容。Okay. I think that's so Nobuku, that is the end of the pre-EST, right? Okay. Then the next, I think Ben is going to take over.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
You
now
do the
this,
slide, right?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
okay.
I'll do the slide. So basically, I will also just take a look at the chat and then I'll try to organize.
Can I ask a question before you proceed?
Mhm.
Sure.
Yes.
This question is for Nobuko. My child is 14 years old. He's minimum verbal. However, he's going into the community with his therapist to work on vocational skills. And also he volunteered at some senior center and also cleaning at a local gyms. However, his weakness is his minimum verbal. So I spoke to my school district. We are from Long Island. I spoke to my school district. They gave me 2 agencies to contact for pre-ETS.
Right.
So my question number 1 is, how does my child qualify for pre-ETS? Can he qualify because he has some working experience? I mean, not working experience, volunteering experience. However, he's minimum verbal. So I'm not sure which agency to pick. And I'm not sure whether I should be submitting the application to any one of them because he's minimum verbal.
Okay, so the best way, I like to explain using this slide too. The best way to apply for Access VR service or which vendor you will choose is that you need to contact with potentially eligible, it's called TASE supervisor. TASE, we have a youth supervisor in each district office. So this supervisor is taking care of 14, 15, 16 years old, still they are in high school, receiving services not through Access VR, but through the vendor that your school district introduced. So best way is talk to this TASE supervisor in your district office, and then he or she should guide you which provider is the best fit to your son's need.
So you're saying the supervisor is from SSVR or is from the school?
From the Access VR.
Okay, so how do I locate those my area supervisor?
So the last slide will introduce, or you can just Google it, Access VR Long Island or Access VR Bronx. They will guide you to appropriate district office nearby. Each county
And
has an office.
what is the title of the supervisor?
TASE. I forgot the spelling though.
I
but,
believe, well,
Mm.
based on my experience, actually, I think it's a good idea because it's a good idea to wait till we finish the slides and then we're going to answer all the questions. So there are a lot of questions that is going to be similar. And then I think the parent panel also is going to answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the last slides has a lot of links. I'll definitely share with everyone after this meeting.
Okay, Nobuko, can you can continue?
Yeah, this slide explained like a question, potentially eligible student and also eligible student. The process is slightly different. Potentially eligible student actually access VR counselor will not see this caseload. Potentially eligible student, you have to contact with a specific person, the supervisor in each district, and they will provide a guidance, which provider is the best fit to your need. An eligible student we are looking at is a general population, let's say 16, 17, 18 years old who are in high school, apply for Access VR services and then meet Access counselor. So procedure-wise, slightly different.
Okay, so Nobuko, do you mean that PETS you need to contact the school district supervisor?
Yes, the left side, potentially eligible students, usually 14, 15 years old, potentially eligible. Those populations should contact Access VR each office. TASE, specific supervisor, will guide them to the vendor. Or the high school liaison will provide the name of the vendor and pick and choose and start working. Eligible student is the one applied to actual Access VR services and assigned to work with Access VR counselor.
OK， 所以这是两个不同的阶段，一个呢是有潜力合格的学生，一个呢是已经合格这个 Access VR 资格的这两个学生。那么有潜力 potentially 有潜力合格的学生呢，是指的14岁一般来说是高中之前，就14岁到21岁，现在22岁这段时间呢，你必须要通过你学区所负责的那个 Access VR 的这个领导或者是这个主管呢，要经过他们批准以后，你才可以得到这个职业前转型职业前叫 ETS 职业前的这个服务。那么如果是你已经合格的那个学生，那么这种学生呢，第一个呢是已经前面经过了在职业前培训的这些学生，或者呢已经受到了这个职业培训的这服务，已经受到职业培训的服务的那些学生呢需要去找到一个工作所以这就是成为两个标准呢是不一样的。Okay, go ahead.
This slide, I like to explain general services. What kind of services are available for general, including student population? Now, remember, the mission of Access VR is to assist individuals with disabilities to prepare for, obtain, maintain, and or advance in employment. And we are not financial aid for college, and it is not just a founder for driver training or any hands-on training. These services are general. Examples may provide when they are required for an individual to obtain, maintain, or advance in a job. So this is important to keep in mind that when students and families discuss services with the Access VR counselor.
OK， 那这个就是到了职业培训的阶段，对吧？如果这个孩子已经符合了职业培训的这个资格以后，对吧？这些是职业培训所能够包含的一些服务。第一个呢，高中的时候开始呢，是从学校转到工作环境当中的转型服务，对吧？第二个是工作咨询，你做这个工作找怎么工作，怎么样工作，工作当中有个工作的一些咨询。还有一个呢，工作能力的评估你适合于什么工作，将来怎么样发展这个情况下。另外一个呢，找工作具体的帮你找哪个工作包括这个一些技术方面的职能技术方面的训练，包括这个BOCES，就是我们在纽约州纽约市以外的这个职业职业教育当中的一些学习。包括可以支付你一些书一些教科书、一些工具包括呢，你上班了以后呢，可以叫支持性就业，就提供一些工作教练包括什么东西，对吧？包括你有一些职业上的有些需要学一些执照，可以去申请执照这个费用。如果是你是有残障的，你这个比如说你这个手不方便、脚不方便呢，可以把你的车改造一种。或者你自己创业，对吧？你自己创业一个补贴，包括以各种的康复的这个技术比如说残障、材质这些东西刚才说的工作教练，甚至你上大学的时候的这个一些课程，如果你上了社区学院或者是4年制高中的某些课程，它可以算你这些通过，可以作为一个将来作为一个就业的一个准备，它也可以支付你的一部分学费，包括开车，对吧？很多这些方面的各种方面都是围绕着以后让你能够独立工作所需要的一些服务。OK next。
So some services are based on individuals' financial need base, and some are not. Access VR financial need threshold is based on federal poverty levels, which change from year to year. But this slide, pre-ETS, I explained between 14 to 22 years old, we pay. The family doesn't need to worry about the tuition or fee, anything. We pay then all when students are eligible for this pre-ETS. Vocational rehabilitation services, it's hands-on vocational training, BOCES, regular school, let's say Lincoln Tech for car mechanic, Apex for car mechanic, nursing schools, those trainings are based on access funding need. So we have the access VR counselor have to request parents to provide that's financial income information such as federal income tax return and bank statement and see if the student or individual will meet our access funding need.
OK，所以这两个呢区别呢，在就是职业前培训的跟我们做职业培训这两个呢一个很大的区别呢，就是说，如果是14岁到21岁，或者到现在的22岁的话，这些学生我们叫做职业前培训的话，那么这些费用都是 Access-VR 支付的，你跟个人的收入、家庭收入没有关系的。OK，那么这些呢，包括一些，比如说你探索什么样的职业，在工作跟叫做这个工作的时候，这个一些的在工作当中培养的一些这个学习的一些经历，对吧？包括你将来的话，这个高中以后进行再教育的或者继续教育的一些选择包括你在工作这个单位工作岗位上呢，你择业就绪了，就是你准备好工作的一些训练包括你自我倡导，那么这些呢都是这个他们可以支付的，就是保证支付的。那么假定说你是到了职业培训阶段，OK，那么职业培训阶段有个前提就是你已经有能力找到工作了，所以它是必须你已经有工作了，或者你保持这个工作了。或者是你工作想再进一步了，比方说想升级想换工作了以后，这个才是 可以提供你这个职业培训的服务。OK，那么对他来讲呢，职业培训的服务呢，就是需要你有这些条件，他们也会有看你的财政的情况来决定你是不是需要这些服务，对吧？或者是你已经有足够的这个财力或什么，或者你没必要申请Access-VR 的资助，所以这个是有条件的。OK，这个第一个条件呢，你必须要有工作。那么这些服务呢，包括什么呢？包括比方说你在高中的你在这个学校期间当中你一些就业的辅导，对吧？比如说你在社区当中参加一些工作的一些经验，他们给你提供一些社区工作、图书馆包括这些工作经验，对吧？还有包括你呢做一些评估，将来你的职业的安排的评估，你适合于什么工作的评估，对吧？那么在你这个高中毕业以后的这些服务呢，包括呢这个为你这个创造就业的一个岗位还有一个呢提供支持性的就业包括呢一些这个的一些训练，对吧？这个训练呢包括技术学校的训练、职业训练，也包括你的上大学的一些学习这个一些的费用。OK next 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 yeah
Okay. So referral process, how do we get these services through Access VR? So now, so we talk about the student population and adult. Student population 14 to we consider 22 years old has a two category, potentially eligible and also maybe older than 14, 15 years old. This potentially eligible, usually 14, 15, 16 years old, not quite sure of their career goals. They would benefit from this potentially eligible like a pathway. In order to apply for this pre-EDS pathway, young adult or student should speak to a transitional and youth services senior vocational rehabilitation counselor at each local office. So short version is TASE. When you call to each district office, White Plains, Bronx, and Queens, you might say, I like to speak to TASE supervisor. So the code will direct to the person. And then now, eligible just student fill out the application form to us as we assign to work with access counselor. This access counselor will discuss pre-EDS and then make a referral.
OK，那么这个呢是讲的是怎么样来这个申请的一个步骤第一种呢是叫做有潜力合格的学生，那么一般来说呢是指的14、15、16岁的，在高中差不多高中之前的这些学生。那么这些学生呢，你要去申请 Pre-ETS 在职业前培训的项目。那么这个东西呢是指的是你批准的途径呢是先要给当地的 Access-VR 的主管打电话 ，OK， 通过他的批准以后，他会给你介绍一个 Access-VR 当中的一个 counselor， 也就是这个咨询的辅导员。那么辅导员呢再会跟你们联系推荐什么样的服务跟什么样的机构继续下去，对吧？那么对于这些已经合格的这些学生呢，这已经合格学生呢，就是你要么就前面已经经过了职业前培训的培训，要么已经参加了刚才我们讲的职业培训的一些过程。那么这些人呢，表示他已经可以有能力找到工作的。那么这些人呢，就是要去跟这些人呢，就是你需要有一个职业目标，OK，这是你需要有一个工作的目标，而且呢，你需要找到一个工作来证明你已经有工作能力，OK，那么这样的情况下呢，他们就会给你这个 这个 vocational training 的，包括其他需要的一些服务。OK，next。
I can just briefly, I like to show briefly this sub-minimum wage employment. Federal legislation and regulations require that youth with disabilities are provided information and choice about work in competitive integrated employment setting and pay at least minimum wage. So there is a federal legislation regulations at the minimum wage. I just place this slide and the next two slides for your resources. But based on my experience working in the New York City area and then White Plains area, I don't see any student working under the minimum wage. Usually this sub-minimum wage applies to upstate New York and rural area. So this is just for your references.
OK， 所以这个呢，讲我们最低工就低于最低工资的这些就业，对吧？那么按照呢政府规定呢，这个残障人呢，他是需要有最低工资的，但是在一般来说，过去呢都是他们一些工作呢可以比最低工资更少的一些工资啊，那么这是给残障人的。但是呢，从他的经验来讲，如果在纽约市周围的话，他所有的遇到的这些残障人就业，他们的工资都是最低工资的，也就是说没有这个低于最低工资的情况了。那可能在上周或者农村地方就业，他们不愿意付最低工资弄一下，对吧？所以我们在这个纽约市周围的工作都是在最低工资之上的，最少也最低工资的。所以呢，这个条目呢，其实对我们这些很多家长呢就不再适用了。OK，next。
Yeah, we can skip that one too. This is for just your reference.
OK， 这也是
another one.
OK， 这也是关于最低工资的。那么一些联邦的政策跟我们的实际情况不一定会相符，对吧？就没必要去弄。
Okay, now. And now, how to apply for Access-VR services? You need to fill out Access-VR application, number 1. And the VR22 is release. And the number 3 is documentation of disabilities, such as we can just simply say diagnosis, having a mental condition, maybe intellectual disability or physical disability or history of substance abuse.
OK， 所以呢，这就是最起码的一些申请的材料，对吧？最起码第一个要填他们 Access-VR 自己的申请表，第二个呢，你要填一个表格呢，同意这个 Access-VR 呢是得到你的一些信息，比如说你个人信息啊什么，对吧？就授权。第二是授权书。第三个呢，你需要有残障的证明，对吧？这个证明呢可以是诊断，可以是发育障碍，可以是身体障碍，可以是这个甚至是精神健康问题，包括还有一些呢，比如说药物滥用的，对吧？就是上瘾的这些东西的都可以啊。那么具体呢，可以在这个上面找，对吧？具体的可以在这个链接上面找它的规定。Yes，go ahead。
对，然后我已经把这个链接就是放在这个地方，也放在对话框了，对吧？然后它这个slides 上面的这个链接就是这个网页。那大家看一下，他刚才他这个上面提到的这几个申请材料，这个上面都有。你看 Access-VR 04这个表，对吧？然后这个就是那个表的链接，然后它这个表的这个是英文的，然后你可以把它点开，然后可以把它下载下来，然后下面呢它还有就是各种语言的，也同样都是这个申请表，都可以把它下载下来。如果你不想用那个英文的话，如果你想填中文的话，这个都可以把中文表格填下来。
Yeah, in the book I can continue.
对，然后那个这个上
啊
面就是授权这个表格呢，就是21，你看也在这个表格，也在这个同样这个网页上，这个是21，对吧？然后这个是21是一些就是健康的一些证明，还有一些教育历史的证明，然后这个其他的呢，看。他这里也说了，就是说你可能有一些医疗方面的证明，然后你这个医生要给你开一下这个证明，或者是你如果已经有 SSI 了，然后这个 SSI 那个资格卡，就是通过SSI 拿资格的这个卡也是证明你有残障的这个一个文件，嗯。像这个其他的这个 学校的 IEP，还有那个或者是504的这种学校需要给你进行那个适应性调整的这些都是你可以跟 Access-VR 相沟通的提交的那些文件。Next。
So when is a good time to apply for Access VR services? When individual is ready to work and have a time to receive our services. We start working age of 14 up to 64 up. We don't have a maximum wage. 14, 15 years old, quite not sure career goals, just try couple of things, put ETS. Contact local office, TAYS, TAYS, TAYS supervisor, local office. They will guide you how to do it. They may suggest go to the Access VR's office and then actually apply and going to different PREETS pathway.
OK，
High
那
school, high school transitional
嗯
high school transitional counselor will help students to apply for Access VR services. Sure. Substance abuse program or St. Joseph medical doctor knows Access VR services. Whenever you feel ready to access VR services to prepare for get your job, that time to apply.
OK，那么什么时候可以开始 XVR 呢？那么其实只要14岁及以上都可以，对吧？很多人医生也会知道，你学校里面的 transition coordinator 就转型服务的这个辅导员也会知道，都可以帮你选。但是呢，一般来说，如果你这个孩子有残障，这个孩子呢，马上高中要毕业了，对吧？或者高中要离开了，那么最好是在这个他毕业那一年的这个秋季之前申请因为如果太晚的话呢，很多服务可能是没有衔接了，对吧？所以最好是在这个毕业那一年的一年之前就申请这个，所以呢就不会断档。OK yes next。
So this is the last slide. We put the resources, Access VR general website. You can locate each Access VR district office by clicking this. And also NTACT is the one website is funded by New York State Department of Education Office. And there is a couple of useful resources for students with disability.
OK，那这就是我们讲的一些资料，对吧？第一个呢就是 Access-VR 总的网站，第二个呢是各个地区的这个办公室，你只要去打开了一看，每一个县、每个郡呢都有他们的这个办公室，里面各种的名字给联络方式，对吧？那么下面一个呢，刚才我们弄的你这个申请表。最后一个呢，其实是全国性的组织这个全国性的一个组织呢，就帮助你转型当中的一些资料包括一些知识对吧？那么这个是可以从那个网站上可以得到很多的信息。OK，next。
这个就是最
This
后
is the
一
last
章
one. OK，
对，最后一章了。
end of one. OK. So you want to ask some question before we
Sure.
So
So
the
we
first-
have do you want to continue to finish answering the question
Sure,
that we received in the middle?
sure.
I'm not sure if that question is answered.
I think my question was, can a child who's minimum verbal, who has a little experience with vocational skills and volunteering experience, can that person apply for pre-ETS services?
So he is over 14 years old?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yes,
turned
sure.
14.
So this TAYS counselor, TAYS senior counselor should provide resources for your son.
Okay. So it
Another
doesn't
question,
matter. You have limited vocabulary.
yeah, so
verbal
he is
skill, right?
he is alternately assessed. He's not taking the regions. Does he qualify?
For us, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Having a high school diploma, IEP, CDOS, or drop out of the high school, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We will find something for people with disability. May not be with us, or we will find, the OPWDD services or OMH. We will find something for your child.
Mhm.
Because I received mixed information because I attended a few SSVR workshops.
Okay.
So the information I get is that they are saying that SSVR is for higher functioning individuals. So I'm concerned.
Let me give you an example here, right?
Mhm.
I have it's not a learning disability, this person. I have a quadriplegic individual, right? Quadriplegic meaning he's using wheelchair, he cannot use hand coordination. I authorized assistive technology, which is eye gazing system. He can communicate ABC by picking up a word. We praise him. He's working. He's working full-time Pepsi.
Yeah.
Right?
See?
And then the other student, I have a student with autism, non-verbal. He understand what I'm saying. He just nodded, yes or no. He tried to say something, but he is not the verbal. But I praise him. He's very artistic. So one provider gave him a job is drawing a menu, right? When you go to restaurant, every time we have a day of the soup or day of the meal. So he goes to the restaurant every day and drawing it, today's menu soup, pretty. So he's getting SSI. He keep that working part-time things to do, but he's not verbal. We praise him. So we will find something. We will find something your children can do.
Okay.
Maybe may not be under Access-VR umbrella, but maybe OPWDD umbrella, under the OPWDD or under the OMH. We can find something though.
Yeah.
My last question is that if the person is receiving pre-ETS services, when he turns 21, will he automatically be enrolled in SSVR or they need to reapply?
Good question there. When your son or individual apply to potential eligible services, like we call PE, TAYS, TAYS, supervisor actually keeping this caseload, but Access-VR counselor will not see it. And then when individual reaches to certain age or decided going to graduate from high school or decided I like to do more, I like to have actual Access-VR services, they provider will make a referral to Access-VR. So it's everything behind the scene, they will do it, and we will receive the application form. So some point you need to fill out the application package with provider you are currently working with under PREETS. but that pre-eds caseload is with TASE, this supervisor, one person in local district office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
So based on my experience, actually Cho, I am you know, my son is 18. He has also very little language, minimal communication capacity. So he is right now referred by his high school transition coordinator. We have been referred a couple of times, and but just before the summer, the referral went through, and we worked with a vendor, and then the vendor was able to place him into one program, which is more of workplace education. That's you know, that's one of the slides was talking about. It's called work-based. So he started one of the work-based learning experience. And then, so that's one of the program they first started as soon as he enters Access-VR. And then now he's in two program because, you know, once you enter that, and then you work actively with the one of the managers in the vendor. So he is right now in the internship program. The internship program is yeah, it's this one. So basically it's they have so many different internship programs, paid and the non-paid. So I think that when you were concerned about you know, his ability and whether or not he can meet the requirement, I think I think that should not be, that should be your least concern. So what you can do as a parent, that's, you know, as me, you know, what we did is we just present his profile, his document to the school transition coordinator. The transition coordinator will refer you to the Access-VR manager, right? Access-VR coordinator, like Nubuku or the, you know, the person who worked for Nubuku, and then they will ask you the documents, and then your job is to collect those documents and then submit it to the coordinator in the Access-VR and let them to find the eligibility for you, and then let them to find a Access-VR vendor so you can work with.
Thank you, Adela. This is Jasmine, by the way.
Oh, hi, Jasmine.
so okay,
Sorry, I
so,
didn't recognize you.
okay, so hold on. Okay, so we're gonna
So by the way, you know, based on my my experience, so in my school, the person who actually referred us to Access-VR, it's called a transition coordinator. But I know that this role in the different schools, they have you know, they have many different titles. 就是说sorry 我还是说中文吧，就是说每一个学校它的这个名称职位的名称都是不一样的，就是说因为我们学校它是叫 transition coordinator， 那么我们就是我知道我们这个邻校它就是叫一个vocational counselor。他其实叫 guidance 高中 guidance counselor department 其中一个人就叫 vocational counselor， 因为这个 vocational counselor 他既管一些正常发育的孩子，他也管这些 special education 的孩子，所以他和 Access-VR 是工作上联系是非常紧密的，他每一个高中都应该有这么一个角色。就是刚才 Nubuku 也提到了，就是一个 TAS TAYS 这个 position， 就是说当你去问的时候，我觉得可能最好的一个最有效的一个途径就是说 你可能就是说还是要跟你学校的，就是管特殊教育方面的这个就是职场培训的这些人，他有的时候叫有时候叫那个vocational counselor，有时候叫youth vocational counselor，有时候叫什么 high school transition advisor，有时候叫什么 transition liaison。就是他的职称和都不一样，但是他做的事情都是一样的。就是说，我觉得这个途径比较可靠，因为你是通过学校把你就是推荐过去的。那么他这个 Access-VR 这个办公室的联系人呢，就是 Transition Coordinator，他因为跟他应该有长久的持续性的工作关系的，他就不大会拒绝你。
Yeah，我们学区也叫做 transition coordinator。
对对，那是好的学区，有的学区没有这个专门的位置。我们这个学区今年就没有了。Anyway，这个就是说我自己的一个经验分享吧。
Thank you。
这个我们先把这个一些问题这个先提出来，然后呢能够尽量的简短的解答一些问题，好吧？那么下面一个问题呢是My son is 12th grade right now. It's younger than 22. If he continue going to college, can he put the vocational training in the summer or after school? Is that or in the summer vacation going to vocational training? So this is a question. If he's still going to college and also get the vocational training, is that possible? How we arrange?
So it depends on what kind of services your son is receiving through Access-VR. We cannot provide two services at the same time. Let's say
Okay.
vocational training, hands-on vocational training, taking a nursing school, counseling, and then also college sponsorship. We cannot do the both. But
Okay.
if parents decided, I pay the college for my son, are you going to pay for vocational training to my son? Sure, we are willing to discuss.
Okay.
And
Okay,
also
great.
it depends on the college sponsorship is solely based on access funding need, meaning we need to calculate the parent's income, bank
Okay.
statement.
OK，所以刚才讲了，如果是女孩子又想上大学，又想读 XVR，原则上他们只能提供你帮助你一个，对吧？你自己要决定你是先要上大学呢，还是要先要工作，你不会两个服务同时给你的，而且呢，他们也会考虑你的家庭的收入，是吧？所以这个要根据就事论事，要去根据情况来的啊，这不是刚才讲了。XVR 职业培训都是你合格了以后才会有，并不是你想有就有的。所以这个具体的问题呢，要具体的要跟他们的这个一起讨论的。OK。
So Nobuko,
but-
I have a
yeah,
question.
Sure.
Sorry, just to follow up with this question, and so basically the question was saying that to continue the college. So if the college was paid by the family privately, right, and then the family also wanted to join the Access-VR to continue the training, and then the training is going to be arranged, after school or in the summertime. Would that be doable?
So pre-ed, I explained pre-ed is totally different category. Our flow is that we like to provide pre-ed for a student. That's the Access-VR is doing now, pre-ed now services. So the college sponsorship, let's say we provide a college sponsorship, we pay, and also we are able to pay for pre-ed, work readiness, internship, self-advocacy. We are able to pay both, right? And then now your question is, I pay for college, right? Parents pay for college. Can you pay for vocational training by Access-VR? Sure. if that college major, but it depends on the college major. He's taking computer IT by parents' income and requesting, hey, Mace, I like to take a nursing program. Are you gonna pay? Our question is gonna be, what kind of job are you looking for? There is no consistency here,
Right. Yeah.
right? If you like to take nursing, RN nursing program, parents pay for it. And then I like to take LPN to become more marketable in the field. Sure, there is a consistency, I can see it, and we are able to provide it, but it's not one training to the other. And it's not at the same time, but we can be flexible. Let's say one vocational training, I provided the truck driving, right? Class B truck driving, but a person got hurt, coming back to Access-VR saying, hey, I got hurt, I cannot drive anymore. Can you provide a computer tech to do some different work? Sure, we are able to provide it because your disability situation changed. So it really depends on participant case or student case here. And there is another way to do it. College sponsorship is really solely based on family income. But a vocational training, hands-on vocational training, let's say becoming a nurse, working a daycare center, computer tech or certificate program, Lincoln Tech, car mechanic, those are hands-on vocational skills. We can provide up to, this time is $10,000. It's called cost-effective training. Cost-effective training is the other way to justify your request. I don't need to receive family income. We can just provide it as long as that vocational goal is realistic and attainable. That's the key. Realistic and attainable vocational goal.
OK，刚才那个总要的讲了一个呢，就是这个问题，就是说 ，XSVR 如果想要资助你的话，他要看你申请的这些服务是不是跟你的就业目标是一致的，对吧？举个例子来说，他在大学当中或者社区学院当中选了计算机的课程，但是呢，他的职业目标说我将来要做个护士。那么你的学习的课程跟你职业目标是不一致的，那么这个就没办法去说服 XSVR 来资助你或者付你部分的计算机课程的课程。但是你如果要改专业了，对吧？我将来想做护士，我改学成护士专业的课程，那么这个东西它就可以商量，那么就可以根据你的需要，他们来，而且当然也要看你这个家庭的收入情况下，对吧？那么他们再根据情况来具体的决定是不是给你资助啊，所以这个就是 case by case， 就是根据个人的情况、不同的职业方向，包括你选修的课程来决定的，对吧？好吧，我们下面一个啊，对，
So next question from the chat, right? So my son is 11th grade. So 这个问题还没有回答，对吧？
这个问题是 DOE 的问题了，这不是
Yeah. My son is 11th grade, and I hope to officially start the process of vocational training. How can be this reflected in the IEP? And does Department of Education have any program for students going through the transition phase that focus on independent living skill training and basic vocational training? If they do, can these be directly included in IEP goals with the related services provided by Department of Education?
IEP, so you are looking for something to write on IEP? Individualized educational plan.
So the question is from Yang Rong Liu.
Hello，我就是我。
你好，那你在你把具体的问题
行行，
或者重复一下好吗？
好，现在因为我儿子高二嘛，是高三了，秋天是高三了，然后我现在就是说想开始这个，就是职业培训的这方面的嘛，因为我想如果在开 IEP 会议的时候，可不可以把就是职业培训方面的 goal 直接写在 IEP 上面。And also，我知道，据我了解，就是 DOE 会有一些 program，就是从小孩子学校转型到职业培训中间有一些 program，比如说像那种什么交通方面的 program，或者是其他方面的，可以直接写在这个 IEP 上面嘛，然后由这个DOE 来提供这种服务，这样子，就像平时的 OT、PT or something like that 这样子。
Okay, so so Nobuku, she's basically asking if a department DOE has any programs, for students that is in the transition phase that can focus on the vocational training, independent living skill training, and then if so, these goals and can he put these goals into the IEP, right? And then basically listed it explicitly into the IEP, and then these services will be provided by Department of Education.
Department of Education, you mean the Federal Department of Education? Federal.
I think yeah, I think she's referring to because Access-VR is under Department of Education.
Department of Education, yeah, New York State,
right.
New York State Education Department. We have transition services mainly pre-ETS is the one. So when your son or daughter is in high school, they can apply to Access-VR services and then receiving services while they are in high school. Independent living skill, we can provide work readiness, self-advocacy before they graduate.
Yeah, so this is basically the question should be primary for the school district provide IEP. Okay, if you're going to access VR, that's the second one. They are not the school district，他们不是学区的，他不管的。OK， 所以你第一个是要跟学校、学区的学校的 IEP meeting 说，我这个孩子就是要工作，就要培育，你们所有的目标都在那当中去。那么他们尽可能的一些服务，他们就会跟上，包括你前面讲的交通训练也好，职业培训啊，这是学区提供的。OK， 这是学区提供，你学区这是 Access Service 学区之外，就是另外一个渠道。那么他们提供的一些东西，这也要看学区的资源有没有。如果是学区资源有的话，尽量应该在学区里面的。所以是 IEP 呢，这是你理所当然可以提出来。我的孩子是要职业培训的，对吧？我的这个目标这是你理所当然要提出来的。他们必须要给你做这样的安排，并不是说他们愿不愿意，是他们必须要做这样的安排。
对，我也觉得刚才的问题自己有一点乱掉，这个把
没关系，对，没关系。
他这个不知道，
对他这个就是说 IEP 呢是一个你作为有残疾的这个学生和他学区的之间的一个相当于一个条约一样，一个约定，你知道吗？他这个呢，他这个虽然你看学校也是DOE 的，他这个 Access-VR 也是 DOE 的，他们基本上就是说两条平行的线。是两条平行的线，哎，就是说他们应该说是应该是不交叉的啊。然后呢，就是你讲的，就是说能不能列在这个 IEP 的这个goal 上面。那么我自己的我家里的孩子是那个我儿子 他应该说是从14岁的时候就开始，在他 IEP 上面就专门有一个，就是专门有一个区，它就叫 vocational option， 就是说他把他的就是职业，相当于职业规划的话，就专门有一个就是专门的。就有点像其他的，比如说 math 啊，什么 reading 啊，什么，它专门有一个区，就是讨论一下它这个方面的规划。然后呢，也这个区里面也可以列，一般我们这个每一个区里面就有2到3个 goal 嘛，然后它这个 goal 就可以放进去。
那就是说，如果我要正式启动这个培训计划的话，那就是直接跟学校的 transition coordinator 提
对，
出。
你应该把这个 goal 放到你的 IEP 里面。你放到 IEP 里面的话，这样子的话，你如果因为它 Access-VR 到时候看你是不是能够合格的话，他也会看你的 IEP。那么你这个 IEP 的话，上面有这个 goal，那也会对他就是说他也知道你是有这个一定要就业意愿的，对。
我大概明白的。是的，这个意向，你的意向要先写在 IEP 里面，之后就是你提出这个要要职业培训的时候，他 Access-VR 他也会参考这个你 IEP 里面的一些职业培训的意愿，然后就是之后什么事情就是一步一步下去怎么做的，他都会 get involved 这样子是不是？
Yeah. So Emily Sun, you are up next.
Yes. Hi.
Can you?
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi. Thank
Ibuku
you
is still
for.
around, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Emily.
Okay. 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 My son, who is going to be 25 years old, and we really enrolled in the Access-VR for a couple of times, but we always get it denied because they said that he didn't meet their requirement skill wise. So we replied again since the February, and we didn't get any response. So how can we get follow up?
And which office did your son apply to?
On the Queens by the Long Island.
Queens District
Long
Office.
Island City. I mean, I'm sorry, Long Island City.
Garden City Office.
Yeah.
City
No,
Office?
no. Long Island City. It's not a
Long
Garden
Island
City.
City. Okay,
Right.
Queens, Long Island
Right.
City. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was he assigned to work with Access Counselor?
Yes. The name, I don't know. So her name is let me see. Her name is
You know the name?
Hold on.
Oh, that's okay. Miss San, you know what?
Yes.
You know what? We have a supervisor, right?
Uh-huh.
So if Access Counselor your son is assigned to work with does not answer your phone or email,
Yeah, no, we tried to call and
free.
even we emailed it.
Feel free to
Yes.
talk to his or her supervisor. If the
How we-
supervisor does not answer the phone,
Uh-huh.
go to the director's office, director of counseling. If
Can we
director
just
of-
go? I mean, I
Okay.
just wanted, can we just go in the office? Just go in the director office to see them,
Sure.
or we have to make appointments?
You
Emily,
can
yeah.
you can walk in. However, though we are scheduled is booked. We are scheduled is booked.
Yeah,
We have to schedule in advance. But if you are
Oh.
frustrated and nobody answer the phone, nobody answer your email, you need to talk to the supervisor. Feel free to talk to supervisor and then director or manager.
How we find the supervisors and
Okay.
managers?
Yeah, okay. Now, when we go to our website, you can just Google it, Access-VR Queen's office. You
Okay.
can go and see their website. Each district office has their own website. Queens, Bronx, White Plains office. When you find the name of the list, right? Name of the list, going to the senior vocational counselor. And then next to it, there is an email address. Click it. Or shortcut, let me tell you the secret. go to the go to the director, go to the district manager.
Mhm.
That's okay. We receive such an email from a participant. You are not the only one. So feel
okay.
free to feel free to contact our district office manager saying, hey, counselor, my son's counselor, ABC, does not answer the phone. Will you tell me the next step? You will receive the call or response within 24 hours, 48 hours, quick.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I know,
Thank
this
you.
is how, right? This is how it works. Go to the chain of the command. And I am a supervisor here. I try to respond to the request within 48 hours to the participant.
Wow, I guess
Feel-
because you
Yeah,
really
feel
worked
free
hard
to-
on it.
Feel free to contact district manager, the director of counseling. You don't need to care for our big caseload. You don't need to care. You only need to care for your family member, right? Who has a
Yeah.
disability. Try to be independent. Try to get something looking forward to. Something looking forward to. And be independent in the future. You have to advocate for your child.
But like I heard like other parents also said like SSVR also only accept like a like high function, the peoples with the disables. Like just like you say, you have the like other function, disabled kids and you let them get into the work, like get the
Okay.
job.
Yes.
For mine, he has a couple of like a vocationary, but it's nothing, it said and nothing meet their goal. So that's why they turned him back. It's kind of it's really sad.
That is true. We are not the perfect employment agency. We have a certain level requirement, such as we are giving the job for people with disability in competitive employment. Let's say the person, your son or child, cannot follow the direction, always distracted by the phone. Supervisor said, oh, Mr. A, you have to open this box and then put the product or clothes to this shelf. If your child cannot follow the direction, he or she is not competitive employment candidate. Key is that, can you work in competitive working environment? Nonverbal, physical disability, history of substance abuse, doesn't matter. It's really up to we call functional limitations. Having a bachelor's degree, CDOS, IEP, it doesn't matter. As long as they are able to follow the direction, we focus on their strengths, not the limitations, but still we need to see their functional limitations. So maybe your son may not reach that point where we train them, we place him with job coaching on site, monitoring their progress every minute. Still, they cannot follow the direction. That's the person we cannot work with. We have to refer them to maybe OPWDD or OMH or different services, not Access-VR.
Okay, but there's no limited, like if we get it denied, then we can reapply again, right?
Yep, sure. There is a case, person applied to our services like 10 times and then it's not denied. We will try. We will try to work with anybody.
Yeah,
We don't decline. We are state. The state we accept, right? We accept many people here, like a community college. And we try to work with them, making a referral and then make sure the person can work with some support. That's the key. Person can work with some support. How much? It depends.
Okay, thank you very much, Notebook.
You're
Thank you for the help.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
Okay, so next one, can we answer the chat? His son is deaf and on mute. He cannot find out any job training agency. He can use in sign language. So, Nubuka, do you know any training, especially for deaf and mute people, non-speaking people?
We have some local district office has a counselor with deaf. And
Mhm,
then Bronx office used to have a 2 deaf counselor, but they left. But a supervisor take over that deaf caseload.
mhm,
And then we arrange the sign language, ASL interpreter, and then translator.
mhm. Okay,
You
so
should,
they
you
also
should try
can
though. You
apply.
should try.
Okay,
You should try to apply to our services and
Okay.
see what kind of resources are available for a specific case.
OK OK，
嗯
那个费旭你自己说吧，你举手了，你来
是的，我们住在 Brooklyn，我儿
OK
子呢在 AHRC 那个 day house， 因
OK
此他那也有工作培训，就是找不到有手语的人来带他。
OK
所以呢，如果他有关这样的资料，能不能给我？那
OK
我嗯哼，
OK，他刚才说了，你们
嗯
如果去申请 XSVR 的话，有些地方 XSVR 的机构它有手语的翻译，如果没有的，他 supervisor 是会找一个手语翻译，所以你还是到布鲁克林可以到布鲁克林去申请。OK，
但是
哎
好像现在就没有说可以翻译，就是想找那个人会手语的这样的人一直
不是啊，刚才说了嘛，他们机
对
构会找手语翻译给你的。他们
OK，
说不定就有懂手语翻译的人，要看每个机构有没有这样的人。
就是
但是
我
你去申请，你要
哼，
到 XSVR 布鲁克林还会申请，你要跟他说我们需要手语翻译，他们应该是他们的责任给你找翻译的。
好的好的，谢谢。
贝，你有那个Brooklyn 就是那个地区办公室的联系方式吗？
没有，
那我把它放在那个对话框里面。
好的，
对，我就把那个链接放在对话框里面，
好，
看到
好
了没有？
看到了，我做个 screenshot， 我留下来。
OK，
好，谢谢。
那个下面是那个 Joanne 的妈妈的苏卫秋
大家晚上好。我要用英文问还是用中文呢？
可以啊，英文你叫英文
对，
就
英文
嘛
可以。
My daughter was receiving SSVR assessment maybe few months ago, and she was discharged due to safety awareness. She lacks safety awareness and talking to stranger, and also even though she's able to follow instruction, but she has difficulty maintaining attention. So so the evaluators and the counselors say that she needs to be discharged because she's not ready for pre-vocational training. So I would like to ask, because just now I heard about internship and other things. So is there anything, any program or services she is eligible from SSVR? Because I feel that even though the suggestion is continue counseling, but I feel that at the same time, she still need to receive something to work on all these inabilities. Yeah.
If access counselor will not make such a determination if we don't have a concrete evidence. Let's say that we have an evaluation process. Our process is simple. Application phase, evaluation phase, vocational training, and employment. Always same. Application, evaluation, training, and also employment. That's the way to go. Flow. When Access VR counselor said to your daughter saying she's not ready to access VR, we do not make a determination based on nothing. We have to have some concrete evidence. Let's say making a referral to vocational placement vendor or rehab provider saying, we'll test your daughter and see, as I said, competitive environment, is able to work competitive environment with assistance. So if access counselor say, no, miss, your daughter is not eligible for, it's not eligible, is not, we do not have any services for your daughter, meaning we have evidence stating she's not ready to work competitive environment. So now you are asking us services where we place this child to after graduate from high school, right? He or she cannot stay at home doing watching a TV or playing a game. So as a parent, we have to find a way to do something for your daughter or son. In that case, sometimes the vendor has they have a program, we make a referral, and many times under the OMH or under OPWDD, that is the program we only know. We do not have a much other program though, unfortunately. But maybe Adela may have some idea. Maybe she can make a referral. She may have resources to work with.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Access-VR to assist the people to get the work. So if the condition causing any dangers to the working environment, then nobody will take that to work. So the issue is not the work, the ability to work, it's the ability to keep safety, right? So that a lots of service, psychologists, that's all we can do that. It's not the job for Access-VR or vocational training can provide, can fix the problem. Right?
But don't let me tell you, don't discourage at this moment.
Of course.
So let's say 18, 19 years old, high school, immature, they may not know what's going on outside, but after a couple of maybe a years of counseling sessions, maybe he or she will learn and then become adult and is able to work competitively. Or sometimes we have access ride services, take her from home to work to home. So we can just provide transportation, so she will not be distracted. But for now, she might improve soft skills area to get ready for work or be independent. And after those sessions, I saw my caseload before, after a couple of years or so, they become ready for Access-VR services. So I don't discourage at the moment. So we never know, the kids will grown up.
So yeah, so based on my experience, I've seen kids that they initial referral. So basically this boy, he's 19. He was referred to Access-VR, and then the Access-VR basically created a case for him, right? And then they were trying to Access-VR, the coordinator was trying to find a vendor that in the area, because they have usually have several vendor, and then to work with him. And then the first vendor actually, when he was 19, he worked with the one vendor. I think it's a YAI, and then he did some training. Yeah, as you said, like a soft skill training and some advocacy training. But after that, the vendor wasn't able to place him into a good internship program. So, and then when he was 20, he got referred to the Access-VR again. He created a second case. That second case, he was working with another vendor, so that in the second case, that another Access-VR coordinator hooked him up with another vendor, Jawonio. And then in the Jawonio has a lot of like school to work programs and stuff. So he did quite a few internship. So from what I see, what I have seen that you don't get referred. First of all, you don't get referred once, and then you just kind of like hanging up in there and then reaching a dead end. You can always restart, right? If you're not happy or you finish the current program, you want to try something new. Is that true? You can always like create a new case, reach out and then to get help.
Yeah.
Is that true, Nobuko?
Yeah, as a parents, that you have to advocate for your family. So it's true. There is a good match and it's not good match. Yeah, right? So good match meaning child cannot work with women, employment specialist, female, or he or she prefer to work with the male vocational counselor or male. You are the one to request, hey, my son seems not to work with the employment specialist A or B. Can you change it? You are the one to request access counselor, right? If access counselor doesn't answer your phone or email, you know what to do. Talk to their supervisor to make it happen. You are the one to work for your children. And then when we make a referral to supported employment, let's say supported employment services, one provider, the other says, why I didn't work out, talk to the vocational counselor, access counselor saying, hey, why I did not work out for my family member. Can you switch it? Sure. We can switch to Joanio. We can switch to different supported employment provider. As long as it's not the same time, like two services at the same time, we are able to do it one services at a time. We can switch the provider. We can complain to employment specialist. Hey, I like to have a different one. Sure. You have to verbalize it. Otherwise, access counselor doesn't know, oh, this child doesn't say anything to me. So maybe he's happy with YI. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, my question is, when she was discharged by Access-VR due to the comprehensive assessment report, I just feel that what she needs is like with supervision, of course. She cannot be left alone to work. But I mean, trained to work with supervision, I feel that she has the potential. But the report, the assessment report just show that she's not ready by bringing some very concrete example which the evaluator have observed. But to how I understand her, I just feel that she needs training with supervision. But I don't know how to go further with that because the report came out with a very concrete example to show that she lack of safety awareness. But with supervision and reminder, I'm sure she is able to do so. Yeah.
So in that case, we will receive such a request from parents all the time. So if your child completed psychological testing report, Access-VR counselor should have a detailed report here. Why don't you request a case conference saying that you have an Access-VR counselor, you have a report. I like to know what exactly my daughter needs to do, what exactly my daughter needs to work on with therapist or with me or with family. Tell me what to do. So Access-VR counselor should be able to tell you your daughter lacks this part. This is how to improve your daughter's skills to become our vocational training candidate. So Access-VR counselor should be able to tell you what to do. So you have to request case conference or making appointment with access counselor and discuss more detail.
we did have a conference, but I feel that the counselor is newly employed and she seems lack of experience also. When she first started through the evaluation process, she has an experienced one, but I think the counselor retired and this newly employed take over. So, yeah.
No, in that case, as I said, don't hesitate to talk to supervisor. I was asked all the time, right? I was asked all the time to just sit in the case conference and just sharing my experience or what to do to the newly hired counselor. That's how it goes, Access VR. So if you feel that Access VR, this counselor is not experienced, we need to have a second opinion. We always want to have a second opinion for our diagnosis, right? So if you like to have a different opinion, more detailed, talk to your supervisor, talk to her or his supervisor. They must know it. And then as I say, director and the manager is experienced counselor there. That's why they become supervisor and then director, district manager. They should be able to tell you what to do exactly and then more detailed. And you have a right to do it. Don't hesitate, really. Don't hesitate to talk to the supervisor. We don't mind that, really.
Okay, thank you. I think
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed by all the information they give during the conference also, and I don't know what to do, but I just feel frustrated at that time.
Yeah. And then one of
Okay.
my, you know what, one of my participants, when I was a counselor, he has a learning disability, and then he ended up with closing. I have to close his case. He's not ready. He asked me to write up what area he needs to work on, and I did it based on psychological testing report. So if you are overwhelmed and too much the case conference, just talking, you can ask, will you write a simple language? Will you write what we need to work on? And then Access VR counselor should be able to do it though. You can request it.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
So okay, last question. Got it. Okay. If the parents can find an employee to hire their own children, can this child still be accepted employment through Access VR? So
Sure, that's a good question there. It depends on employment. It depends on the request. If this student is in the high school, right, and the mom will get the part-time position in Dechico,
okay.
and then the student is requesting college sponsorship or vocational training, sure, we're able to do it. And the mom find the internship site while student in high school. Hey, Maze, I like to have a job coaching support while he's in summer job. Sure, I did before. We are able to do it. We don't need to find work site, but I will hook up with job coaching support to make sure he or she will be able to perform the job he's expected. Sure, we're able to do it.
Okay.
So the key is that we are very flexible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We are very flexible as long as counselor is able to justify the services we can do. So it's never no. Ask the counselor questions. Ask counselor, how about this? I heard Nobuko say this, that. And then bring a slide saying, how about this services? Is my family available for this? And why not?
That's very encouraging, Nobuko. I think you give us a lot of energy and a lot of drive to go forward.
Right. I always says, I know the parents, what if you guys are not last forever? I have to tell you, you guys are not last forever. You have to prepare for your family member after he or she become alone. Now is the time to do it. We have to prepare. Going to the OPWDD to get the care manager, sure. Going to Access VR to get the job, sure. advocate for your son to get the college degree or vocational training certificate program through Access-VR, sure, you have to take an initiative for your family to get this done, right?
Yeah, I think we
Nabucco,
have,
I
we
have
have
one
one more
question.
question. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
If we are not happy with the counselor, can we request to change
Sure.
counselor?
Yeah, as a supervisor, I'm requested all the time, right? But it's really, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. This human services field is really short-staffed. Everybody knows it, right? OPWD, OMH, talk to them, customer service is nah, right? Because we are short-staffed. So, participant requested the counselor change because counselor didn't answer the phone, blah, blah. We try to accommodate. We try to accommodate you. For my case, for our office, supervisor will be on top of it. Let's say we have a complaint from outside. One of the counselor does not answer the phone. I have to be on top of the case. And I'm giving my number to the participant saying, hey, if your counselor doesn't answer the phone or email within 48 hours, you can CC to me. Email to counselor, email to her supervisor, so supervisor will be on top of it. I have my supervisor director, right, saying, I was told I need to respond to participant complaint within 48 hours. Yes, we try to do it. If we cannot do it, I always said, I will contact you by Monday. If I cannot answer you by Monday, you can contact me Tuesday. And the supervisor's level should be able to handle it. And they should be able to on top of your case. Counselor change, you can request it, but it really depends on district office procedure. They might be able to switch it. Sometimes kind of a good match and a bad match stuff. Female wants to have like a female counselor, feel comfortable. Male wants to have a male counselor. Sure, that case, we might be able to do it, but it really depends on district office. But hey, we have a supervisor. I have a supervisor. Counselor has a supervisor. Feel free to contact us. I will be on top of the case, right?
Yeah, so as a personally notice that in today's world, no matter is counselor, care manager, if you don't certify, of course you have rights to ask another one. But mostly likely, when you get another one, it will be worse because all the good ones have been overbooked. You can see all the agency, the short of staff, right? If you have a good one, everybody want to keep them. So I can see lots of good care manager, they're overworked, they're overloaded. So they have no way to access a new client, right? So that's the risk you take. So I would suggest you rather than whatever you're working relationship with current one, probably is better than you want to change another one. You know, this is you know, I see lots of cases. You can, just like Novika said, they are overbooked, they are overworked, everybody overloaded. So somebody did not reply email doesn't mean they did not care about you because too much work. So, you know, call their supervisor, push a little bit, right? That's the one thing you probably everybody can do it. Okay, so
So
thank you very
Nabucco, we
much.
have one last question.
Sure.
This is from Yulin. Yulin Yingjie. So my daughter has a work training experience at school. Does this qualified as a potential work experience, or
Sure.
does it qualify as a employable potential?
Yeah, sure. If your daughter is working before a competitive environment, let's say working in a stop and shop, Walgreens, Target, doing a stock clerk or cleaning, already she has some soft skills already. So it's helpful to access VR counselor to continue to work with her. It doesn't matter. For us, it's helpful. Maybe easy case to get the credit for access VR counselor. It's really good. So sooner is better though. The employment key is sooner is better to expose to any competitive environment and work, any type. So 14 years old, start thinking, 40 years old, son and daughter, start thinking maybe it's time to work in Target, Stop and Shop, do something. So it doesn't matter, she can apply.
英姐她就是说是可以的，就是你这个都是可以申请的，把那个只要任何一点点工作的经验，在 Target 啊，在什么其他的这个任何的工作经验，零售的经验啊，什么在洗衣店啊这种任何的工作经验都是算是有工作潜能。而且我觉得没有工作潜能可能也可以吧。对，他的回答是绝对可以的。
就是需不需要
也在
再拿那个工作允许证？我不知道，就是说你推荐给人是不是要有一个有工作许可证？那他可就没有。
不需要，
我就不知道
他前面说
要
过了，就是申请的时候，就是你跟 Access-VR 申请的时候，是不需要他只需要一些残障证明，你的一些或者如果你现在在学校像蜜糖这种情况的话，你可能就是把现在的这个就 OPWDD 资格证。还有，因为你已经不在学校了，就资格证，像这个 Medicaid 的资格证，然后你的就
他还有
是
个担心，就是一个英语，一个就是交通的问题，就是这2点我都不知道怎么办哈。一个
对，
英语，
它是
一个
可以。
交通。
你这些东西，如果你自己担心的话，说实在的，这些问题就变成你自己的问题了。但是你现在就是说这些东西，你现在手上的材料，你的诉求，你要把它变成别人的问题，就是说你要去申请 Access-VR，那么他这个 Access-VR 的话，他这个
他来
管
解决这些
理员啊
问题，对。
总理的话，他会
嗯
帮你找到下面的一些机会，这个就是他的工作来帮你找到这
OK，
些工作。
明白。
Yeah.
谢谢啊，谢谢。
Okay, so we got over time. So
I know.
the book, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
Be that long.
My
Thank
pleasure
you.
to present. Yes, so Adela, feel free to contact me if you have any questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're seriously over time. For 45 minutes.
Yeah. We hope we
good.
have every supervisor like you, but we don't
I
have
know.
one. So,
And then you responded to all the emails within 24 hours.
Yeah, I was told, 48 hours. Yeah, but always,
48 hours.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
my supervisor is on top of me, so same.
But thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good night.
Oh, have a good night. Bye.
Good night.